Hello, I would like to discuss an article related to things that you should not do as an interpreter. I work as a certified deaf interpreter, which is called a CDI, which means that I have experienced as a deaf person working with interpreters as well as a certified deaf interpreter. I've experienced many different kinds of hearing interpreters. I have seen good interpreting choices as well as some decisions that I've seen interpreters make that I just do not agree with or I feel like are questionable choices. I would like to clarify things that you should do and things you should not do. If you are a new interpreter or if you have been interpreting for many years, I teach interpreting, so I'd like to gain this moment to explain some things that you should and should not do. When you're working with clients that are deaf or hearing, it doesn't matter. I have some things that I would like to explain. A lot of this might not be new information for you, but I think it is good to talk about this to serve as a reminder for all interpreters out there. Something that you should not do as an interpreter is if somebody is signing and you are receiving their information and you miss what they're saying or maybe you do not understand, you shouldn't just skip and continue interpreting. This will cause trust issues. Do not do this. So as the interpreter, if you are interpreting sign language, ask what is not clear, clarify, or you can use your facial expressions. If your face is confused but you continue speaking, the deaf person will not understand will receive this as you're not understanding what they're saying. I suggest that an easy approach to this situation is if you do not understand what they're saying, clarify with them. Ask them a part that you don't understand. You could say, "Oh, could you explain that again?" But if you just say explain that again, does that mean that you had missed everything? So clarify the part that you've missed and use back channeling, which is facial expressions, to explain to indicate whether you've understood what they're saying or not. In short, ask what exact part of the sentence you missed, and the deaf person will tell you. We all have opinions, and it is important that when you are interpreting something that you do not agree with, that you don't show your opinions. If you get this information, facilitate the message, but don't use your own opinions. This could hurt your image, your reputation, if there's something in your life that you don't agree with when you receive this information. If you receive it and you cannot interpret it, you can deny your interpreting services. You can deny an assignment, but not during the moment. Don't say no to every single assignment, but if there's something that really strikes a chord and if it affects your work, reject the assignment. Do not do it. Do not go ahead. You could research the information prior and learn about this information, and if you feel like you are qualified to interpret that information, then you can go ahead and do the assignment. But everything's not about money. It's better if you avoid situations you're not qualified for rather than just gaining the money. I remember I had worked at a church, interpreting at a church service, and the person who was presenting had information that I did not agree with, but I was interpreting. I couldn't become aggressive with the person. I interpreted, I heard that information, and if I just stopped interpreting that means that I don't care about the deaf client. I don't care that the deaf client doesn't receive this information. I don't care that this deaf client receives access. And that is a real insult to the deaf person.